What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Hope everybody had a great weekend, great Mother's Day weekend. It is the 9th of May. It's Monday morning early, looking at the markets. If you were busy all weekend, you didn't miss much, but a bunch of red in the crypto markets continues to trickle down into the red here. So this morning, we're going to take a look at Casper. We'll check out Bitcoin. We'll see what's going on here with these markets, what the odds are favoring. For those who have patience and some discipline, strongly believe there is some higher prices around the corner. Let's take a look first off over at some market sentiment. So here we are on the Crypto Fear and Greed Index. I've mentioned this in prior videos. Each day we analyze emotions and sentiments from different sources and crunch them into one simple number. The Fear and Greed Index for Bitcoin and other large cryptocurrencies. We are sitting at an 11. We are sitting in extreme fear in the markets. And if you look at the charts will confirm this. We have undercut certain major lows. We have been sliding down in the red. All the hype is basically fading into the distance. You don't hear much hype anymore. And you actually hear quite the opposite. X is going to this price and things are crashing, and just a lot of fear out there. So for the contrarian investor, whether it's over in the stock market or over here in the crypto markets, if you're a contrarian investor, if you go right when the crowd goes left, this is your time. There is no better time than to be getting into long positions in the crypto markets. And then I also believe into the stock market. Now, of course, I could totally be wrong. We could continue down from here, and maybe we don't bounce for a couple weeks or even longer, or maybe we don't even bounce at all. But I believe we're going to see some kind of a pretty strong bounce across the board, including the stock market. And then I think that'll actually carry the crypto markets up. You just don't see these fear levels that often. This is extremely, extremely low. So for what that's worth, take it for what it's worth. Think about it, and just keep it in mind. We are sitting at an 11. We are pinned. We are almost pinned on the left-hand side of the graph here. So anyways, let's go check out Casper. That's what we're talking about today. And then we'll check out some Bitcoin. Actually, let's go over to Bitcoin first. Over to Bitcoin here. What's going on with Bitcoin besides back in the red once again? Bitcoin down $400, 1%. This is the Bitcoin USD Coinbase data here. Looks like after this, almost looks like a bearish engulfing pattern. I think that was so that was the 5th of May. That was pretty nasty. And if you look at XRP and maybe Casper, I'll have to take a look. That was a tough day. Well, basically, you've been in the red. So this is 5 days into the red here with Bitcoin. Once again, I mentioned this in prior videos. When we get down to areas like this candle over here, which is the 24th of January, looks like a support candle. Don't mind the text. This candle right in here. So if we draw a horizontal line here, basically right there, you can see where we're trading at today, and we are trying to bounce off that level. Will it happen? Time will tell. I would say it would be much better if we did bounce from there than if we didn't. So keep that in mind. We bounced here quite strong. We went from basically where we're at now, 33,000 up to 45,000. So good for a it's like 12,000 bucks there. And you can see if I draw this horizontal line, which is on the chart, over, this is an important zone. We have this whole area of support over in here for Bitcoin. Couple tests over in here. And then today, or in recent times, I should say, we're sitting right in that area. I'll say it again. It would be better if the price could find support here than break below it. If we break below it, you're basically heading down into the probably the low 30,000s, maybe even lower, slightly below 30,000. We have a couple levels over here, 29. So that is that. If things really heat up, you have these old highs over in here at 19,000. So, like I said, finding support here would be much better than the alternative. Something a little concerning is, besides this looking like a major distribution top, you have some rough head and shoulders look. You have a left shoulder over here. You have a head. You have a right shoulder over here. Little confusing here depending on where you draw the neckline. It's not perfect, of course. You could do something like that. And then, that would show us that we're actually below. We already broke down. So you can see some of the concerns that we have here with Bitcoin. And if it could find support here, that would be much better than the alternative, because the alternative leads to prices down in this area. But hey, we'll see what happens. We can't make the market do what we want. We have to read the market and try to stay in tandem with it. So that is Bitcoin. We will throw a couple fibs up on the chart. Let's see what we got here. So we'll take that 20,000 swing high down to, let's see where we're at here. Basically right around there. And what does this tell us? So this tells us that we obviously found support, or a resistance, excuse me, up here at the 3618. It looks like our very rough head and shoulders pattern is at the 2618 resistance. And like I said, if we break lower here, right around that $30,000 level is the 1618, just another fib level right in here. So it looks like we're heading straight there with no other path in sight. But like I said, market sentiment looks really, really good for a contrarian investor. So I don't track Bitcoin too much, but it's hard to ignore it when it's looking like a massive topping pattern, basically sitting at an area where we could be finding support. And that is that. Let's jump over to Casper. So just keep your eye on there. It looks like we're wicking up a little bit today, but we've done that before, and that obviously, those levels did not hold. Casper, what is going on over here besides Casper down 3.79%? We are sitting at levels that we have not seen since March of 2022. So very early in this year, we are sitting back at that looks like 5.5 cent area. The last time we were here, we were making these videos saying, look, we think the market has bottomed right here and we should see a rally. Well, we got a very, very nice rally all the way up to that 10 to 11 cent area. And that was a great, great opportunity. If you were accumulating down here, which I know a lot of people were, very, very nice move. So what's going on? Well, we're back at that area. We are sitting right over here at an important area that you would think the price would want to find support. But like I said in the other videos, it all depends on what Bitcoin does and what the boys who run the show have planned. If we undercut these lows, the odds favor lower prices. I will go over that shortly. But you can see we found support 1, 2. Will this be the third time we find support, or do we break it on the third time? Time will tell. Keeping in mind, though, that market sentiment is in a beautiful place right now. That does not mean prices will just bottom because market sentiment is in a good place. Sometimes things take longer before you see those big rallies. So keep that in mind. Also, if let me draw a horizontal line here, basically right where we're at. We'll go right to there. So this white horizontal line is an important area that I've mentioned back in March. And like I said, we found support 1, 2, and it looks like we are flirting with breaking that on this third time. Time will tell. But let me mention that if we do break that level and start to really trade lower, besides this low over in here, which is, let me see that low. That is basically 509. So we could wick all the way down to 509 and then bounce, but it could be a straight shot down to this 3 cent level, which is this candle over in here. The low was 3 cents on the money. So that is a pretty large move back to the downside. Let's see if we can figure that out here. So basically where we're at today, back down to that 3 or so cent. I mean, you're looking at a 45% move to the downside. So keep that in mind. Be careful out there. Just keep that in mind that you could see a very, very nasty break to the downside. Sometimes, though, you'll see in the markets that what they'll do is, so we're sitting at basically what I believe to be a major area of importance. Sometimes you'll get a major break of those levels of an important area, and it could happen in one day, it could happen in 2, a couple. You'll get a major break below a level, so we'll get a candle down. And then sometimes in the same day, you'll get a massive wick back up above that level, basically turning it into support. Sometimes it shows up on the next day. On that next day, you could get a massive reversal candle, and that is the bottom. So sometimes you got to undercut levels, and then the reverse move takes place. And sometimes you'll get it on the upside. Sometimes you'll get a breakout of a stock. So let's take this high over here. Now, this is just an example. This didn't happen with Casper. You'll get a major break of that area. So let's call it right here. You'll get a break above that, a reverse, basically a failed breakout. And then sometimes on the next day, the third day, boom, big follow through. So we'll see what happens here. We're at an important level. It's either going to 1, find support, 2, break below it and then find support, or 3, break below it and not find support and head to that 3 cent level. We're at an important level. 3 scenarios could play out. Of course, that's what I believe, not financial advice. There could be a 4th area that plays out where we kind of just flirt down here for a while and then break to the upside. I don't think that will happen, which means it probably will. And the reason why I say that is because the way market sentiment is right now, when we get so much fear in the markets usually will find some kind of a V bottom or something and then rocket out of here. So when you get too many people on the wrong side of the market, the bearish side, and it happens with the bullish side too, but the bearish side usually finds bottom, and you'll see that V bottom. The markets will move in the other directions. So, and you'll see this across the board in the stock market. When the fear is the worst, the market's crashing, the world is ending, stop buying stocks, sell your stocks, do all this stuff. There's tons and tons of negative news, energy, fear, pushed out by the mainstream media. And you'll see it. People will capitulate on YouTube, on the forums, in the mainstream media. That is usually a tipping point. This example, a bottom, but it comes in on the top too, but tops are a little harder. Tops usually just don't, unless you get like a parabolic move and that's it to blow off top. Tops are a little bit harder because things are great. Everybody feels great. Everybody's making so much money. The stocks can just keep going up and up and up. So that's a little bit harder, but on the downside, when you get fear at levels where we're at now, we're closer to a bottom than not. That's what I believe. So keep your eye on the level where we're at right now for Casper. Like I said, we're either going to find support and move higher. We're going to break below it and then find support and move higher. We're going to break below it and not find support, head down to that 3-cent level or down to this low over in here, which is, it looks like that low is 509. And then what I don't think could happen, which of course it could happen, is we kind of flirt around here, breaking highs, breaking lows, and then take off to the upside. So, all right, guys, that's going to wrap it up pretty much for this video. Keep your eye on Bitcoin. Obviously, that is the whale in the room. Keep your eye on basically where we're trading at right now in Casper. We're at an important area. We've found support here 2 times now and then had big moves to the upside. Here we are sitting once again at that area. So keep in mind a couple of the scenarios that can play out. Also keep in mind, I didn't mention this in the video, we're getting pretty extended to the downside away from the 200-day. So the 200-day is up here at 10.27 cents. We are very far from the 200-day. And you can see over in here when we got that far away from the 200-day, what happened? We got pulled right back up to it. Doesn't mean, like I said, we're going to bottom today, but it's worth noting. Sometimes the price gets too far away from moving averages and you'll get a reverse move to get it back closer and back up to that 200-day. And you can see it like clockwork. I mean, it worked perfect right up in here. We got too far away, number one. Number two, we were at an important area where there was a lot of price support. And look what happened. We got pulled right back up, found resistance at the 200-day, got pushed away, and here we are once again at an area of importance that I believe. So, all right, guys, if you have not yet subscribed to the channel, go ahead and consider doing so. Greatly appreciate it. All links, as always, below the video. We have merchandise and a couple other links there as well. Patreon is paused right now, but we do have some big plans to bring that back. So keep that on your radar. All right, guys, appreciate all of you. Catch you in the next one. Be careful out there. Wild markets right now. Stock market looks like we are back in the red this morning, trying to find some kind of a bottom. Hasn't looked like we already bottomed for the night, for the day. Time will tell. That market sentiment is in really good shape. This week we'll probably see even better numbers. So a lot of opportunity around the corner, we believe. All right, guys, be careful out there. Catch you in the next one.